Good morning, Twitch. Good morning, Twitch. Good morning, Twitch on this Monday, 06.26.2023. Current time is 05:37 a.m. Eastern Time here in upstate New York. That'd be southern tier of upstate New York, the southern of where I live and reside, of course. Good morning, all. Good morning. Rich Roberts, Fireman Rich here on the Twitch, at Fireman Rich over on Twitter, where you can follow me or just see what I'm doing. And good morning to the chat. We've got an active chat right out of the gate here. Good morning, Mr. Twix, Jeeves, and Tony. Salute to you, too, sir. Hashtag positive start to the day. And good morning to the missus. Oh, she's up. She's up and around somewhere doing something as far as that goes. Wait, how come this doesn't? This is not looking all that proportional. There we go. Good morning, Lady Cat. Erica, haven't seen you in a while. Good morning. Welcome. Glad to have you here. And as far as that goes, along with Tony and Mr. Jeeves there, glad to have you here. Where you been keeping yourself, Erica? Haven't seen you in a while. Have not seen you in a while there, as far as that goes. Oh, you're on vacation. Okay, you're back from vacation. Okay, you and Jeeves were on vacation. Jeeves got back last week, and you're getting back this week. Okay, I hope you had a great vacation. It's always good to go on vacation. I think you told us that. You said you were going on vacation a few weeks ago and stuff. I think you went with your parents, I believe, or something. Did some traveling somewhere. But welcome back, and glad to see you here. We do have the morning coffee, and we are at the start of another week here. As far as that goes. And oh, you went to Yellowstone. Oh, wow. Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming. That must have been great. Yellowstone Park. That's on my bucket list. Oh, the cat's already acting up. He always act up. Hey, Tim Fan, yo. Yeah, I imagine Yellowstone is huge, and Yellowstone is sitting right on a big ass volcano down below, an underground volcano. That's why they get all the steam and stuff like that. If Yellowstone ever blows up, we're done. Even over here, way over here in New York and stuff like that. There was a National Geographic's thing on that as far as that goes. But good morning, Tim Fan coming in from Michigan, and good morning, Chris Tech. Chris Tech is here. Good morning, all. We got a full house. I hope everybody had a good weekend. Coffee's tasting good. Death Wish coffee. We're still drinking the Death Wish coffee. Everybody says good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
There we go. There's the good morning. I know Tony's laughing. What's that? Happy?
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, yeah. As far as that goes. And everybody's saying good morning. I hope everybody had a good weekend. I did. I had a great weekend. I had a very good weekend here, and sharing part of that weekend, I shared it with Tony. Tony and Helen there. It's your birthday week. Well, happy birthday week, Chris. Saturday, I got on and I used, hey, there's Helen. I guess it's going to bring, I'm glad you're here. Now we can talk about you, as the saying goes. No, I had a good Saturday starting out as far as the weekend. A very long broadcast. You're welcome, Chris. And I was using guest stars, and your birthday's Thursday. Okay, great. And I had Tony up, and Helen was gracious enough, and I really appreciate her being up. And I hope you appreciate that my supposed boyfriend dropped out mid come with me to come here to be. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Helen. But Helen came up, and we had a great conversation. And I'm glad you're here, Helen, because you were right on something you said during the broadcast. As far as that goes, the broadcast, because I used guest stars, and you said it, and it came true. It was shortly about 4 or 5 hours. That broadcast popped up to 50, and I guess as of yesterday, it was up over 100. And usually I average anywhere from 20 to 30, 35. Maybe on a good day I'll go up to 40s or something like that. But that's got to be a big plus there. And I think Helen had stated, because I was using guest stars, which we don't use it that much. I couldn't use it on my old box. And yeah, you were right. I'm. What are you doing? Question marks. as far as that goes. But the guest stars, it got. I think that might have gave it a push, and you said that on the broadcast Saturday. So it was a really good conversation as far as using the guest stars, bringing everybody up. It's like it was reminiscence of the old Haps days as far as because usually when I use guest stars, the few times I've used it, it's just been me and Tony, and then we had Helen up, and it worked quite well, and it was a great broadcast and stuff. And I did some broadcasting yesterday, Lord of the Rings online, as far as that goes, and I changed up my settings. I reset my settings. And see, I'm in the red. I'm in the red. CPU rate, but let me see. Let me check the. This happened yesterday. I think I might have the KBS setting too high. Yeah, guest stars works good on my PC too. Chris Tech. Yeah, we were doing guest stars recently here Saturday, Chris, and it worked outstanding. But my OBS, I broadcast yesterday and reset to 60 frames per second. Maybe I might drop that back down to 30 frames per second. But my KBS is up at 48, 5,000, 6,000, and stuff like that. So, but the broadcast yesterday was stellar as far as Lord of the Rings. Very picturesque as far as far as that goes. But it did drop, and we may have a drop here. I think that 60 frame per seconds might be my problem. I might have to lower that to 30 next time. But my KBS is at between 45 to 5,000 right now. I jacked that up, so I lowered it to 55. I think I had it up to 6,000. So it might be my frames per second. I'll have to jack down. We'll go with this though. Let's see. Currently here in the southern tier of upstate New York, we have 65 degrees Fahrenheit, 19 degrees Celsius on the thermometer out here on the kitchen window. And we got scattered thunder showers today. I don't think they're going to come in until after 12, afternoon, after lunchtime here. Scattered thunder showers during the weekend. We had some rain this weekend. We got storms coming in. There were some tornadoes that came across Indiana yesterday. I got some weather alerts on that. And also some tornadoes down Tennessee way and South Carolina, North Carolina. But this morning, we're going to have thunderstorms during the morning, becoming more widespread in the afternoon. A few storms may be severe. High of 82. It's already 65 degrees Fahrenheit, so that means it's going to be a warm day. Winds out of the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain 70% as far as that goes. And our world times and temperatures as we speak, bringing that up as far as that goes. And let me just get this checked here as far as I know you guys are plugging in the weather. I want to make sure I include that. What did I start with? I think Tony gave his started out with his. Let's see, where is it? I had it here. There's Chris's, and there's Jeeves, and there's I think Tony had his in here. Where is it? Where are you, Tony? Where is it? You got the salute. Boom, boom, boom. His technician. Oh, there it is. Chris came in first. Okay. But currently, let's see, out in Honolulu, Hawaii at 11:46 p.m. Currently, it is cloudy skies, 77 degrees Fahrenheit. In Phoenix, Arizona, where it's excuse me for a moment. Clear my throat. Phoenix, Arizona at 2:46 a.m. Clear skies, 81 degrees Fahrenheit. In Albuquerque, New Mexico, at 3:46 a.m. Clear skies, 64 degrees Fahrenheit. And let's see, did Lady Cat give me the temperature for where she's at? In Washington State. Let's see, yeah, Washington State, 53 degrees Fahrenheit. Down in Deming, New Mexico, well, Washington State, that's where Lady Cat's from. In Deming, New Mexico, it's 73 degrees Fahrenheit. High of 103, so they're in the summer temperatures there in Deming. And let's see, Chicago, Illinois, 4:47 a.m. Clear sky, 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Down in New York City, we got 70 degrees at 5:47 currently in local time, and I'm good. And partly cloudy, partly clear in New York City. Down in Warner Robins, Georgia, where Tony D is from, 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 90 degrees for the high, so it's going to be warm down there. What was our high again? I think it was 50. No, it was 82 degrees. So it'll probably be up in. It was warm yesterday. But it's still a nice weekend. Low is 69 degrees, partly cloudy there. Oh, I got to back up. Jeeves, I'm sorry, Jeeves. Going back to where Jeeves is at. 15 degrees Celsius, which is 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, I went backwards on that, Jeeves. So thank you for the temperature. Jeeves is out there in Vancouver, and Chris, we already got yours as far as 73 degrees. Across the pond in Cork, Ireland, at 10:48 a.m., it's cloudy skies, 61 degrees Fahrenheit, and Helen's coming in with the temperature over there in Scotland. We've never had Scotland. You know, I might have to put Scotland. Well, you're in the same time frame. So Scotland, apparently, she says it's 18 degrees Celsius, and it's only so 18 degrees Celsius. That is, you got the same temperature we have here. That's about 65, 66 degrees Fahrenheit, Helen. So we got the same temperature. Yeah, no, it's 65, 18 degrees Celsius here in New York right now, and it's just starting this. And the sun, let's see, when did the sun rise? The sun is just starting to rise. It just rose at 5:32. So that was 15, 17 minutes ago. 5:32. So 64.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, to beat that's where. Lady Leg 01 as far as that goes. So thank you there, Helen. I got back Friday from vacation. We came home early. So yeah, that's great that you went on vacation. It's just Jeeves, he was on vacation visiting Helen, and we talked about that on the broadcast Saturday on the guest stars broadcast here on Twitch, and that was cool as far as. Helen, I know you saw my comment, but you got to check out Helen. Go ahead and put that comment to that video. That video was an outstanding video. Love the soundtrack. The music was fantastic, but I liked it. The dancing around. I kept it at regular speed, and I thought it was great. And when you had the still shots, like and Loch Ness and the other areas, I mean, those could be postcards. Those are great. That was a great frame up as far as that goes. It feels good to be back, though. Yeah, I know Jeeves would want to go back to Scotland, though. he was fighting. He was trying to stay off of the plane and stuff. Yeah, it feels good. So we're gonna get some rain, some thunderstorms today. But the sun rose, like I said, 5:32 a.m. this morning, and added a minute. So the days are starting to get shorter as we're on this side of the equinox, summer equinox. We're in the summer, so sun will be setting here at 8:45 p.m. So in Milan, continuing with our world times and temperatures. You're too go ahead, Helen. Go ahead and slap that. Put the that link in if you have it handy there. You know. So these other, I know some of these other individuals that are in the chat. I don't think they. Because I like that. That was a good. I like YouTube site, and I don't. It's usually those real quick, fast. That was good because it gave you. I mean, within a couple minutes, you know, it was what, a 10-hour trip or something like that. That was pretty cool. As far as that goes, continuing with the world times and temperatures in Milan, Italy at 11:51. Sunny skies, 64 degrees Fahrenheit. In New Delhi, India at 3:21 p.m. Cloudy skies, 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Mumbai, India at 3:21, 84 degrees Fahrenheit. Kuala Lumpur at 5:51 p.m., 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Tokyo, Japan at 5:52 in Kuala Lumpur. Tokyo, Japan, 6:52. Partly cloudy, partly sunny, 81 degrees Fahrenheit. Pretty warm there. But down in Australia, Melbourne, Australia at 7:52 in the evening. Clear skies, 54 degrees. and Sydney, Australia, with clear skies, 752, 57 degrees. So it's a little cooler down there in Australia. Okay, there's the link, guys. Go ahead and check that out. As far as that goes, that's a great video there. A time lapse video over several, more than several hours. So it was over a 10-hour trip, from what Helen was telling us. And and again, Jeeves, I'm going to express it again here. I love the IG pictures that you posted up. And Helen informed us that you were the tourist. She just drove you around. So she said, go do your tourist thing. And then I like that. That was funny. And then Lady Cat, I love the Yellowstone, though. It is amazing. And the geysers are cool. Yeah, but the reality, you think about that, Yellowstone, that's a tick bomb below. And Helen says pretty much, yes, pretty much as far as your trip there. That was good. I like YouTubes like that. It's part of that sharing of what we do here on this thing called the internet. My thought for the day this morning, and we're back in the green. And we're in the green now. Okay, it's settled down. I wonder if that's see, there's a little box for those people that are watching on the replay on Rumble and YouTube. And here on Twitch, I use OBS, okay, and down here in the right hand corner, there's a little box. It said, well, there's a couple things on the bottom. There's drop frames, and I'm dropping some frames incidentally. It's probably because I'm at 60 frames per second, but the picture looks pretty good as far as that goes. And yes, it is a volcano. Yeah, a big volcano. Ellen, I didn't realize, or Lady Cat, Eric, I didn't realize how big it was until I saw that National Geographic's. That's scary. It is scary. It's something we don't really think about. But the OBS, it's got the clock and it's got the recording. I'm not recording, but the CPU rate is at 0.3%, which is usually 60 frames per second, and I'm broadcasting at 5700 kbs. And the little box, it changes color. Red is bad, but yesterday on Lord of the Rings, it was in red, but I was cruising along on the broadcast. And though Chris came in saying I didn't have audio, and it wasn't my audio this time, it was his audio. Turn up the audio, Chris. But it's in the green now, so that's interesting. I think it's got to be we talked about this Saturday too. There's been some interruptions, and it's got to be the internet flow and stuff. So I've come to the conclusion, and again, I said Saturday, and even yesterday on the gaming broadcast, it's not my hardware, it's the internet. As far as I live in a rural area, and I know that, and I'm just going to flow with it. So I'm not going to be worried as long as I have a visual, and I always have the Surface 3 here. And damn Chris, yeah, damn you, Chris. You had me scared there, when you said that. Oh, shoot. I'm still willy-nilly about the older boxes I used to use broadcasting. Yeah, the broadcast looks good. So, but incidentally, let's see, yesterday, okay, it says 720. Now, the gaming broadcast, it says, when I was watching on the replay, looks great. It says 720p at 50 frames, or at 50 frames per second. And I had the OBS set at 60, so I don't know if it self-adjusts. So that's interesting. So I'm dialing it in a little bit more here as far as that goes, and So let's see, our thought for the day that I posted up over there on Twitter about an hour ago, because I got up. Actually, I was up at about 4:30, quarter to 4. So I'm a little early here, as far as that goes. Tim Fan 43 out there in Michigan wasn't bugging me. He used to text me, say, "Rich, where are you? You're late." He's probably at the job site at where he's at. It's coming up at 6 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock where Tim's at. He's probably out on the job site at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. Well, more than like an hour before I get up. Let's see. Our thought for the day, though, comes from Steve Jobs, and we all know who Steve Jobs is. I'm not really a fan of his, but I know what he did as a facilitator, as far as that goes. I think he's one of those individuals that was able to get a group of people around him. The main person, I always give credit, Apple would not be Apple without Woz. if Steve Jobs did not have Woz, there would be no Apple. Steve Jobs, he probably would have came up something eventually, as far as that goes. And oh, Jeeves, you said damn Chris. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, just um, he's talking about when you thought it was me with the, because Jeeves was in that broadcast yesterday too. Chris, he popped in to say hello during my gaming broadcast. So when you said that my volume was down, you had me all worried that, oh no. So just relax, Rich. So instead of me saying, "Oh, turn up the knob or turn up the volume, Rich," you need to turn up your volume, right? Just people watching this on the replay. It's just some good ribbing back and forth to me, from me to some folks in the chat, and back and forth and stuff like that. That's what's great about this broadcasting, is having a very active chat. As far as that, okay, but Steve Jobs, y'all all know who Steve Jobs is. He's the founder of Apple, but again, if he didn't have Woz, I got to give credit where credit's due. Woz was he did the mechanics. You could say the brains of Apple came from Steve Jobs and his work ethic. He was a facilitator that could get a team around him to produce something, and his quote and our thought for the day this morning is, the only way to do great work is to love what you do. And he definitely loved what he was doing. He was very passionate, and that's part of his success. So even though I have some differences with Mr. Steve Jobs, I have to, there's no doubt, you have to give him credit that he is very passionate about it and very inspirational to a lot of people as far as that goes. There's some things I didn't really care for, when you see the movies about him and stuff like that, the biographies and stuff, and that's just like anybody that's he's got a little bit of background, okay, and but we try and remember the good things of people that have passed as far as that goes, and so the only way to do great work is to love what you're doing, and I love doing this, or else I wouldn't be up. I'm retired. I don't have to do this. Okay, and I'm not calling this. I don't have to do this, but I like doing this. I like getting up, saying good morning to everybody, and everybody's saying good morning to me. It's a positive thing. It gives me a charge, and I really enjoy that. And I always express that. I will never forget that. You don't, as a broadcaster, you can't remember. We can't, and we talk about that this past Saturday. I'm always talking about it. I sound like a broken record, but it is important. It is important to realize and try not to take people in the chat out of context, because it's chat. As far as there may be a chat there, and unless they have the LOLs and all that, the people in the chat, they can ask questions as far as that goes. But if a broadcaster gets all freaking willy-nilly and spastic as far as thinking something else, well, that's the broadcaster's fault, not the person in the chat. And mostly all these people that are in the chat, for people on the replay, I've actually been face to face with over on Haps, here on Twitch, and so I have a general consensus, because I've known them over a period of time. So if they say something that's sort of out of whack a little bit, it's like, well, I'll just, or else follow up on a sidebar or something like that. But we get too sensitive. Sometimes we're too sensitive and stuff, where you just take a chill pill. Oh, and I forgot we saw some. Oh, you saw the buffalo. Yeah, stay away from those buffaloes. You don't want to get too close. Always hear those stories about somebody wanting to take a picture and they get up close to a buffalo and then bam, they get hit. You don't want to do that. Okay, there's our thought for the day. Let's see, what do we have on the docket here for National Day? Today is Monday, start of a new week, June 26, 2023. It is the 177th day of the year. It is the 26th week of the year, and we're 48% through the year. Let's see, today we got National Barcode Day. National Beautification Day. Nah. This is a good one. National Chocolate Pudding Day. I like that one. I like coconuts. It's National Coconut Day also today. Okay. International Day in support of victims of um, of torture. Ooh, something we got to be aware of. But um, and International Day against drug abuse and what's that? Illicit trafficking. Okay, so you can put that. I like the coconut. I like coconut water. Yeah, I've tried coconut. It's a refreshing. That's refreshing. I'm gonna go with the national. We're gonna go with National Coconut Day, even though I like chocolate pudding, because pudding you got to cook and it's well you put it in the refrigerator to solidify and stuff like that. But we'll go with coconut water there. Summer starts in earnest on June 20. No, it doesn't. Oh, after okay, June 26th when National Coconut Day arrives. The coconuts offer sweet support for our bodies in several ways. Hashtag National Coconut Day. Coconut oil alone falls into a superfood category due to the to its medium chain triglyceride MCTS content and all that they seem to do, whether supporting a weight loss program, moisturizing skin and hair, or metabolizing into energy. Coconut oil plays a significant role in your body. So it's a good thing. It's a good stuff. We use coconut oil or coconut in many different forms for our bodies and everyday cooking. I love shredded coconut. I love shredded coconut. Put that on a cake, white frosting cake or even a chocolate frosting cake. I love coconut. I love the cupcakes that have the coconut on the frosting. I'm just thinking of things. But coconut oil is used in moisturizing our skin and also helps keep our skin clear and hair silky too. So there we have it. Today is National Coconut Day, as far as that goes. I won't be doing the Anchor, or it's not Anchor. It's not Anchor Morning Audio no more. It's the Fireman Rich audio podcast tomorrow. I'll be doing Mixcloud, and let's see. My last Mixcloud, I made it a point not to. I usually like going back listening to portions of what I put up, both live stream and audio. And Mixcloud, I usually go back and I listen to my Mixcloud because I like to track some music. This last one, I did not go on there, and I'm just curious to see if there was anybody that has listened to it yet, because. And that's been almost 2 weeks ago. Let's see, where's my Mixcloud page here? Let's check it out. Mixcloud. And Helen is on Mixcloud for those people that are watching, as well as Tony D. So check them out over there on Mixcloud. And do I have it? Oh, we got one view. I got one listed. It's a success. It just took 2 weeks. So I guess I can... Yeah, I'm over on Mixcloud as far as that goes, and both Helen is over there as well. And let's see. Did I got them? And Jeeves is over there too. I'm sorry, Jeeves, you're over there too. You only got 3 followers from what I see. Tony D is over there as. Tony Dash Danderidge, using your regular name. And then where's Helen? I got, it's a thing. Let's see. I just got to click to it. Let's see, where is it? I'm trying to find. Oh, okay. Radio Leggy is Helen's page. And what? I went. Oh, okay. I'm following you now, Lee. I'm following you now, Helen. I thought I followed you. What the hell's going on there? Okay. Yeah. So you got Radio Leggy is over on Mixcloud, and she broadcasts here on Twitch, doing jukebox Judy, is it? I guess it's called. She does a broadcast here, and yes, Radio Leggy. Okay, and she does the radio show, which I listen to, and I told her that. She was a little surprised that I do listen. Yeah, you'd be surprised on some of the things I listen to. On God, what's that app? Oh, I'm lost here. What is that that I listen to? Radio Garden, great app. I listen to it in the browser. Radio Garden, Radio Garden. We talked about that. She's on the radio show. Yeah, Radio Garden, and I'm just bringing it up here because she's over on, because I listen to a radio station over there in London. It's called Planet Rock. I know a DJ that does the morning broadcast over, Darren. I know Darren, the radio well, they call him presenters. I call him a DJ. He used to do Two Men in a Car. He used to do Darren. He used to do this podcast with another wacky individual that worked there at, and they sent me this as far as they like the fact that they had an American listen to their podcast, and it was really funny. It was a funny podcast. Two Men in a Car. And Darren, he's a great broadcaster. He actually opens for some top line rock and roll broadcasters here. But Helen is over there on 365 Radio on Radio Garden also, and it's a great application, Radio Garden. So just to give that a plug, it's you won't find everything, but it's a nice thing where there's a lot of different channels. Just like Mixcloud, there's a great diversity of music on there, and Radio Garden you can plug in. And I started using it, I guess, because you can't really listen here in the United States. You can't listen to Planet Rock in London on their webpage from here because there's some restrictions. So this is the workaround, is using Planet Garden. And then I remember Helen saying she was on, was it Radio 3? I thought it was Radio 365, but then it's 365 Radio, and it was neat. I said, that's Helen. She's on the radio. I love the radio. I'm a radio junkie. I love all things radio. I mean, I'm constantly, I've got like 6 or 7 channels on my radio in the car that I'm always bopping around. If there's a commercial, I'm bopping around to the other local channels and stuff. And the various talk shows and AM radio. I love AM radio as far as that goes. And Alan's laughing at because I'm just spilling it out on the radio. I don't get to talk about radio that much. It was good, and it was fun talking about it and stuff like that because I grew up on AM radio as far as that goes. I'm a product of the 60s, I guess you could say. Let's see. So tomorrow I will be doing the what I call the wannabe radio DJ bit, the Tuesday thing that I do. I started Mixcloud years back because I've been on there. I got like 260 some broadcasts on there, and it was because of a gentleman that was a DJ down there in Georgia, down Tony D's way, and he was a broadcaster he was a DJ on the Big X. You should do a radio show. Well, that's what I do, the Mixcloud. I save it for the Mixcloud thing, presenting the 8 songs that I present, and I talk a little bit, and it's more about the music. I don't get long-winded like I do here. I haven't listened to AM radio since the 80s, Tim Fan says. Well, most of AM radio now is talk radio, as far as that goes, and Lady Cat saying, hey. But I like doing the Mixcloud. That's my radio broadcast there. It's where I play a want-to-be radio DJ, and it's the Tuesday thing that I do as far as. And actually, here's the beginning of the Tioga radio show.
What'll it be, pal? I'll have a hamburger, for which I will gladly pay you Tuesday.
So that's the intro to, and then I play a song, and then I do a little bit of talking for about 2 minutes, and then I play 3 more songs, I do a mid break. I talk about a minute or two, then 3 more songs, ending song. So I got a regular format. And Tim has, yeah, it wouldn't be, Tim would not, Tim, that's your official saying. You have my permission to say that each time. Not a lot, but you can say it at least one time coming in here. Tim's saying is Hap sucks. the things we the things that make us funny. So tomorrow I will be doing Mixcloud, and you can find the link on my Twitter page at Fireman Rich. So, and if you just Google at Fireman Rich on Mixcloud, that may take you to my older channel, but there's a link to my current channel, because the old channel I'm not putting all those. I've got like 200 and how many is it? Let's see. What do we have over there? Let's see. My main dashboard. Let's see. On the current. No, I went with profile. Let's go to the profile. The old days of Haps. Yeah, lots of laughs. Yeah. That comment alone reminds us of the good old days on Haps. Let's see. On my new page, mixcloud.com/Richard M. Roberts. Not Fireman Rich. Richard M. Roberts. Is I've got I only have 9 followers on there, but that's all right. I've only got 5 shows, but when you go to my other, let's see, I know I have a link. If you go there, I got a link to the original 212 shows of the Tioga Radio Show when I first started. Is Mixcloud Rich Roberts. Okay, I don't use Fireman Rich. I have Fireman Rich, but I used my regular name on the Mixcloud. I think that's when I started doing that. I started loosening up on using my real name on the internet. But that's 212 shows. So what did I say? No, I didn't have 260. 212 plus 5. I have 217 broadcasts, and I know Helen is up there with a lot of broadcasts. Tony's starting out. He does all his rap music. It's a great platform. I love promoting it. And a lot of people aren't aware of it, but there's a lot of good music over there. Don't just go there. Don't listen to me. Listen to the other music, because there's some fantastic music on there as far as that goes. But it's Mixcloud comes out of London. They're based out in London, England, or UK, I should say. So, but there's a link, and it's all rock and roll in nature. So I'll be doing that tomorrow, as far as that goes, instead of and then I'm back Thursday to do the Fireman Rich audio podcast on Spotify, as far as that goes. So it's fun doing this stuff, just like what the Steve Jobs was saying in his quote there, the thought for the day. The only way to do great work is to love what you're doing, and I love doing this. So I try and do the best I can. We're going to have flaws in our broadcasts. We talked about that Saturday. I know I'm repeating myself as far as that goes, that particular statement, but that's how you can get better. If you can adjust and go with the flow on those interruptions and stuff like that. That's what it's all about. It's just what people, I think that's why you people come here, to see this knucklehead, see if he frazzles out or something like that, but no, I do, but it is fun. I wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for the fun factor, and that's the bottom line for me. It always is. It always will be, and I'll never, because when I don't, now there have been times in the past broadcasting, and the people in the chat know this, that I'll be disconnected from the matrix, basically, as it's called. Brian, a friend of Tony's and ours, and the people in the chat there that we talked to, he's not on I think he's on Snapchat, and it's like, people still do Snapchat, and yes, you do. I need to work on a stream schedule so I can get back into streaming. And it's that part of that consistency that we talked about that Saturday. And yes, you do, Lady Cat, Tim fan. So yeah, you used to broadcast. You just have to do it. You had to say, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Even like last night, I wasn't going to go. I was a little hesitant about doing the live stream on the gaming, but I hadn't played the game in 2 weeks. I want to play it, and I want to get online. So I said, I'll just stay on there for an hour. It doesn't have to be long. You can just pop on and say something, what's going on and stuff like that, and then you post it up where you usually post. For me, it's at Fireman Rich on Twitter, as far as that goes. So, but that's the whole key. You know, if you have the fun factor, you got to be consistent, and you got to get up there, and trying to have a schedule helps with that. And along now, like I said, there are times there would be stretches. I think the last big stretch was when my brother passed away last year. Or was it 2 years ago? 2 years ago. Because Max, our dog, the canine member of our family, he passed away 3 years ago. Each one of those incidents, I disengaged from the internet for 30 days. It was just like I was not into it. It just because it was a sad time for me. So, you know, that's real world. Not to say this isn't real world, because I'm talking to real people that are in the chat. You're seeing me real time and stuff like that. This is part of real world. This isn't fiction. This is real stuff here and stuff like that. And we share things. We try and share things on an even keel level. We don't go spastic and spout off name. We're trying not to. That's the drama that we left at, where Tim says Haps sucks. That's where Haps totally sucked as far as that, because I got caught up in that crap too. But there's times where you have to disengage when you have those moments in life, to where, or else if you have, there's a good knit, close community that we have here after Haps, because all the people, for the most part, in the chat, I've known at Haps. Some of them I've known before that, and the Blab days and stuff like that. We are all from we're all from streaming, but we know where everybody's at and stuff like that. So it's sort of like the analogy would be like you all grew up in the same town, and then one person went here, one person went here, went to here. It's the same thing, but you still stay in contact because we have the internet. So yeah, Blab with Jeeves, that's going back 10 years and stuff, as far as that goes. And Lady Cat never did Blab. Blab was fun. Blab was the bomb for me. It was just like that's why I liked. I remember Haps when it was just a newsy thing. It was like a year when they first came out, because when they changed over to where it was a live streaming thing, that's when I jumped. I said, this reminds me of Haps. Because when they first came up, you didn't have the you can bring a guest up. It just was a streaming service, but was for news and stuff like that. And they ended up changing that where they had, the 4 boxes, basically, I call it, from Blab. And it reminded me a lot of Blab. That's why I jumped on it and stuff. And we can still do that now. So, even in the aftermath of Blab going away and all that, or Blab, Periscope, and Haps, we can still get up here and we still can maintain contact. And these contacts solidifies the community. We do have a community here. I think it's as strong as, and that's thanks to Tony D. Tony D. He gets fired up and with that passion to say, hey, get up there, and now that you're back from vacation, Erica, you need to get on the stick and start broadcasting. I did a little bit of Periscope and live me and Haps. Yeah, but that's before. We're talking about now. Okay, we don't live in the past. We can remember and reminisce about. We're talking about today. Get your butt in gear. Start broadcasting. I'm trying to motivate you as far as that goes. So I'm preaching to the choir as far as the people in the chat, for the people watching on the replay on Rumble and YouTube and stuff like that. So, but they definitely know where I'm coming from, because they're a great group of people that they come in here when I do broadcasts. And yes, we do love Tony. Tony is great. He is as far as that goes. Yeah, you're welcome, Erica. Let's see. Let's go. What happened today in history? Let's see. We had Madagascar in 1960 gained its independence. Tony, okay, Tony, thanks for the. I got something. I got to make a new. I tried making a new little thing there. The little things that Tony's putting up. The blab out. Yeah. How did you get that black and white one? That's interesting. And then. How did you get that? That's interesting. You got a black and white. They're black and white. Now they're colored. I got to make another emoji. I got a slot for another emoji. I tried playing around with them. I'm trying to make one with my picture. It's a square. I'm either going to go with the Fireman Rich with the red suspenders or the Bob's Burger icon. Those are the two icons. But let's see. Madagascar got its independence from France in 1960. And Tony saying thank you to Lady Cat on the emotions. Yeah. Yeah, I got one slot, Helen. I tried working with it, but I guess my picture, I think it has to be 120 by 120 pixels or something like that. It has to be small. Can't be more than so I got to go back and readdress that. So because it was, I mean, when I did my first ones, I was surprised I was able to do the blab owl as far as that goes. Getting ready for work. Forgive me for. Oh, no problem, Tony. I thought you were already at the day job, so you're going in late. Okay, no problem. And let's see, what else do we have here? Um, who is this? Not much there on on that one. Let's go to the AP for history. Oh, on this day, and I know people. There's a lot of people don't really care for as an author, but today, June 26th, back in 1927 or 1997, the first Harry Potter novel, and there was a mad rush to get that book. I remember trying to get one copy for my kids. I had to wait a week, going to different stores. It was sold out. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling. That's the thing I don't like. J.K. Rowling is sort of a copy off of J.R.R. Tolkien. Um, and but she pumped them out though. She put and there's a lot of people that liked her back in the day when she put the yeah, I can't pronounce that, Helen. I got to use Google Translator. Yeah, the the Philosopher's Stone or something like that. Yeah. So the first Harry Potter book came out, and there's a number of them afterwards. I think after the third movie, that's when I lost interest in it. The movies I thought were pretty cool. The initial one, but when you got characters that are playing young children, and then they start getting older, and then they're supposed to be looking like teenagers, but they're young adults. That's uh, it's still a different story. I'm still a J.R.R. Tolkien fan as far as that goes. Let's see. In 1997, on this day, the first troops of the American Expeditionary Force deployed to France during World War II and landed in Saint Nazaire. In 1925, Charlie Chaplin's classic comedy, The Gold Rush, premiered at Grauman's Egyptian Theater in Hollywood. She's got kids. Yeah, there was a lot of people that got into the reading. What are you doing, Jack? I see your story. You all right? You being chased? He's getting frustrated on the couch or on the rug there. Um, and 1948, the Berlin airlift began in earnest. I mentioned this the other day. It started after the Soviet Union cut off land and water routes to isolate. They thought they were going to be able to do an embargo, but the Great Berlin Airlift, a very important part of history in the United States Air Force. Um, and Erica said she read 4 books. Yeah, I never read the books. The kids, they read all the books, but she pumped them out. It's just like so she had a storyboard for the long term there. Let's see. On this day in 1963, President John F. Kennedy visited West Berlin, where he delivered his famous speech expressing solidarity with the city's residents, declaring "Igen binnen in Berlin. I am a Berlinian. Of course, half of Berlin was under communist rule there for a while. Um, oh, here we go. The famous. Does anybody remember this? No New Taxes campaign pledge. In 1990, President George H.W. Bush, that's George the younger, Bush's father, went back on his No New Taxes campaign pledge, conceded that tax increase would have to be inclined in any deficit reduction package work working out in the congressional. He raised taxes after he said he wasn't going to raise them. He had to. History says that he had to. There's sometimes the president, they just have to, they have to get that increase, I guess. I don't know. That cost him his second term. He would have gotten a first term or second term. But George H.W. Bush, a lot of people don't know this. If you read the book, God, what's the book? What's that book? Well, President Bush, the senior, he was a World War II pilot, and before they invaded Iwo Jima, they were bombing an island next to Iwo Jima called Chichijima, which used to be a wayward point for steamships going across and would port there to get coal and continue back over into Japan or Asia and stuff. But they were doing bomb runs on this communication center for the Japanese, the Imperial Army, and he got shot down. And he almost was captured if it wasn't for the submarine that rescued him, U.S. submarine. And but there was a God, what was the name of the book? I can't remember it. God, I can't remember that. That bugs me. But anyway, the story goes that he would, if he would have got captured, he would have been beheaded, because that's what the Japanese did with their prisoners back in the day. I guess when it looked like the Japanese were going to lose Chichijima and Iwo Jima, there was 9 pilots that were captured, that were shot down, and they all got beheaded. We saw Fort Phil Canyon in Wyoming. That place was cool. Okay, I'm not familiar with that, Erica. Yeah. God, what the hell is that name? Flyboys. I think it was called Flyboys. Let me check that with Google. It's only 6:30. We got plenty of time. Let's see. Flyboys. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's Flyboys. It's on Amazon. Flyboys: A True Story of Courage. Flyboys. It's a 2003 book written by James Bradley. And James Bradley, his father, was on Iwo Jima when they raised the flag. He was there as, I'm not sure what capacity, but James Bradley, the author, wrote a couple books. He's a really good author. But this book, Flyboys, was a national bestseller. The book details World War II incident of the execution and cannibalism of five of 8 American POWs on the Pacific island of Chichijima, one of the islands right there. Chichijima, like I said, was a radio. It was a rock, but there was a communication center there that they wanted to take out, and 5 of the 8 were beheaded. I think the other 3 were killed. There would have been a 9th one if former President George H.W. Bush, the senior, if he was captured. And I think the name of the submarine, and I think the submarine that rescued him is parked in Pearl Harbor, the Tiger Shark. I think it's called the USS Tiger Shark. But it is a true story, and I've got the book. I just couldn't remember it, and I've read it, and it's history. And the thing is, former President George Bush, the senior, never knew this until he got into president, because his positions prior to that, he was a a congressman. I think he was a senator. He was in charge of the CIA. But even as the CIA director, he didn't have access to that information because the fact that Japanese were beheading people in World War II was so horrific. They kept that classified, and they explain that in this book. They kept it classified for a number of years. It wasn't really declassified until probably the late 60s, early 70s. And when this book came out, President Bush, the senior, he read this story and he was just like in tears because he was he was like 24, 26 years old as a U.S. Navy pilot, and he got shot down just before we invaded Iwo Jima. And he's a war hero. He is a war hero. I downloaded it on Amazon. I'll read it at some point. Yeah, it is a good story. You'll see that former president. It talks about former President George H.W. Bush, and he is a war hero. A lot of people did not realize he never used that in his campaign. He is a war hero. I mean, he fought in the Pacific. He was shot down, and I'm paraphrasing the story, but he was crying like a baby because he was, and I think that's why him and his wife Barb, you could always see the love between the two of them. So a great story, Flyboys by James Bradley. It's on Amazon, as far as that goes. So I love stories like that. I just can't get enough of those stories, and I love talking about them. So, but back in 1990, when he was before the election, he lost the election. Who did he lose? Oh, he lost it to Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton won that year. So there we go. Oh, here we go. In 1993, Bill Clinton announced the U.S. had launched missiles against Iraq's targets because of compelling evidence Iraq had plotted to assassinate former President H.W. Bush. Ooh, I remember those missiles. Yeah, So Bill Clinton, he's a stand-up guy. You're going to take out one of our presidents? I don't care if he's in the other party. He's an American. We're going to take you out. I like that. Of course, Iraq under the Saddam Hussein regime was just treacherous. Where I worked when I got out of the service, I worked at IBM, and some of the people I worked with were Iraqi refugees. They worked right there in the Endicott plant. Manufacturing side of IBM was where I worked for 9 years, and before I went to the place I just retired from. As far as I don't like talking about it, but but I did work at IBM in Endicott, the birthplace of IBM, and there was Iraqi refugees. Yeah, that was a crazy time back then, with Saddam Hussein and stuff like that. It just now we got other crazy people. So we got. I think everybody's read in the news. I guess there was a paramilitary group, 25,000 troops that were Russian. They were starting to march towards Moscow, and I don't know what it's all about, because you got to be leery about what you read in the news and stuff like that. But that might indicate the beginning of the end of Putin, maybe, because there's if you got 25, you got a leader of a paramilitary group that's on your side, and all of a sudden he turns on you. Why? What made him turn? Why is this guy going that way instead of the Ukraine? So it looks like that was nipped in the bud or something like that, because the leader, he can't go back to Russia, but he's over in Belarus, from what I read. But just the significance of that side, and it was actually marching towards, and the quote from the leader, that paramilitary group, I guess they're called the Waggers or something like that. I don't know the whole story. I just read bits and pieces. But he said he didn't want bloodshed of the Russian people, which is good. It's not the Russian people that are fighting the Ukrainians. It's the Putin regime. It's Putin himself. He needs to go. Put somebody else in there and end the war. We don't need war. And the Ukrainians should do the same thing. The Ukrainians, they should be advocating peace as well. Not this, we got to get our territories. Okay, go back into the negotiating thing. Stop the fighting on both sides, is what I say. War is just bad. Let's see, what else we got? We already talked about Harry Potter thing. And that's about it. There's not really, other than those few things. That's as far as history. In baseball, yesterday, Jays, your Toronto Blue Jays won. They won. I see that on the thing here. They beat the Oakland Athletics. I think the Oakland Athletics will be a Las Vegas team here next season, maybe. I think they're going to Las Vegas, same place where the Raiders went. But the Blue Jays beat the Athletics up there in Toronto, 12-1. The New York Mets lost to the Phillies 7-6, so that's a close game. The New York Yankees beat the Texas Rangers down there in Yankee Stadium 5-3. And let's see who's playing today. Not much baseball. The Mets will be playing the Brewers down there in New York at 7:10 tonight. I watched an inning or two last night, and then what was I watching? Oh, something about the B-1 bomber over there on, I think it was the Science Channel. One of those channels. The B-1 bomber, as far as the significance that played. And that played a big role in Kosovo, as well as they used the B-1 to try and take out Saddam Hussein downtown with a GPS bomb. B-1 bomber. I've been up and close and personal. Those are pretty cool airplane. So the Mets are playing the Brewers today. We did have some football action this morning, both in the USFL, which finished up their playoffs, and the CFFL. But next week, the USFL, you're going to have the Pittsburgh Maulers beat the Michigan Panthers. So Pittsburgh Maulers will be playing the return champions, the Birmingham Stallions, who beat the Breakers yesterday, 47-22. I think so. It's going to be Birmingham against Pittsburgh. Birmingham's going to probably be a repeat winner. They've got a quarterback. Did you hear about the Titanic? Yeah, I heard about that. That's some sad and tragic news. The only recourse, and a lot of people don't realize unless you're listening to experts, and one person you want to get a background on this, listen to James Cameron. James Cameron is an expert on submersibles. He's not just a movie guy that made Avatar, okay, and E.T. Or no, did he do E.T.? No, he did, I don't think he did Avatar. I'm forgetting what other movies he did, but Avatar's his latest one out. He did the movie Titanic too, but he went down to the Titanic. So I think what's going to happen, and the experts that I've listened to, people that have actually, I was listening to this one expert. He spent close. If you add up the total time this guy spent under the water in submarines, he's a retired Navy captain, it equals 5 years time-wise. But he started talking about the materials. He had a composite with titanium front with a plexiglass. Three different materials. They have different expansions at different depths. So that could have been the cause of the implosion. That said, yeah, he said they had no, they didn't have any warning, Lady Cat. There was no warning. That was instantaneous. The experts are saying when that implosion happens, it's milliseconds. They didn't know what hit them. That's what happened. An implosion at that depth, and I'm going to say that adamantly because I listened. There was like 2 to 3 experts. When you have an implosion like that, and that implosion was so quick, they did have a GPS. People said, well, they should have had a GPS. They had a GPS. It's a separate autonomous system that was in its own case, that if something happened, that would blow up. But probably because of an implosion, they did not know. They had no warning whatsoever. Because when that happens, it happens like that at that depth. They were at 12,000 to 14,000 feet. You didn't know what happened. That's only what can I say? The only thing that you could say was good about it, they didn't really know what happened. All I can think was that scene in the abyss when they went too deep and imploded. Yeah, the thing is, though, they were saying on the implosions, Tony, you get that clink, clink, clink. No, they say at that depth, it's milliseconds. It's sort of the analogy they said. If you were to put your hand on the stove, you're watching it and say, "Oh, I don't feel the heat," and then all of a sudden it burns. It's quicker than that. Okay, the senses. We think our senses are really quick. They're not really that quick when you're talking about milliseconds. Hey, Double J's, how you doing? It's sad those bodies will never be. No, because an implosion, it just disintegrates everything. Even sad is giving false hope. Well, that's the thing. I think James Cameron, which is interesting when you say that, Double J's. Sunday they heard a noise. I think the noise they heard was the implosion. So you don't know for sure, even though you could speculate until you find a debris field. And I think we were talking about this before, Double J's, because that aircraft that went off in the Indian Ocean, until you find there's some wreckage, and you can assume because it's so long. But in this case, I don't think there was anything left. I would not do that. Tony, it came apart. A piece of it was good distance away from. Yeah, it just there are pieces all over the thing as far as that goes. But it just the solace of. I don't want to say it's a good thing, but they didn't know what hit them, because I've dived. I've done some scuba diving, and I've been down as far as 60 feet, and there, you can feel the pressure when you're diving. For scuba diving, you can only stay at 60 feet for like a minute or two before you have to start coming up, because you start developing nitrogen pockets in your blood system, and that's where you get the bends and stuff like that. As far as that goes, so yeah, it's a sad and tragic thing, as far as that goes. That was pretty horrific as far as that goes. But James Cameron, he's an expert I've been listening to. The people that are just spouting off, saying they shouldn't have done this and it's their prerogative and stuff like that. I don't listen to those people. They wanted to do that. That's fine. They thought, it's just like you think something's safe. I know. Was it Double J's was saying? What was that thing you said, Double J's? You could be walking across the street and get hit by a car and stuff. Yeah, but a rescue mission in the beginning. Yeah, but a rescue mission in the beginning at those depths was not. Yeah, not problem. No, that not probable as far as that goes. I mean, they're going to be doing the reporting. You could, I guess, what it comes down to, Double J's. It's over with. Should they restrict tourism going down there? I think they should. There's no reason. It's just like tourism in outer space. I think the difference is in outer space, you've got a spacesuit and you're contained and you're not going to be crushed, because like I said, 12,000 to 14,000 feet. You can't even dive. You can't put a dive suit on unless you're pressurized. Our body cannot take that. It squashes us like a bug instantaneously. And so the Monday morning quarterbacking, I'm not going to get into other than refer to those experts. James Cameron, he is an expert. He's been down there. He's talked about it. He's having regrets also that he had some reservations about this submergible. People are saying it was slapped together and all that. It was different, okay? It worked, but again, when you're going down to those depths, the three materials, there was a carbide cylinder, plexiglass porthole. And here's the other analogy, the retired Navy captain, he says, is the 5 years total time I spent on submarines, we never had a portal. We never had something we could, it was all in, because you get two different materials and you're going down, the temperatures and the pressures are different on, say, a titanium steel and then a composite, which is very strong, but when you get plexiglass, unless it's been certified, and that's the one big thing. This rig was not certified. Lady Cat, it was sad when they all died. I know they weren't going to last. No, well, the thing is, Lady Cat, the implosion happened even when they had 40 hours of oxygen left. That's the noise they heard on Sunday. The U.S. Navy heard a noise. and they just didn't pick that up. They can listen to a lot of things underwater. Believe me, they can. God bless their souls. Yes, definitely, Jebba Jason. Give straight to their family members to get through the grief. Yeah, that's in any death. That's a good saying. I'm just going to leave that there. So next week, the USFL Championship, Birmingham Stallions will be playing the Pittsburgh Maulers. No, I didn't hear that, Lady Cat. They didn't hear no tapping. They heard a noise. It was not tapping, and they did not hear any. I'm going to go out and say I'd never heard that. They did hear a noise Sunday, and that was the implosion. They did not hear no tapping. That's just, if somebody's saying that, that's crap. I'm going to call it for what it is. That's a crap statement right there, Erica. It was a noise. They didn't describe it. It just said a noise. A noise is not. That's tapping. This was a noise that was heard through the systems that the U.S. Navy has, sonic radar or whatever they call it, from a distance away. You don't hear tapping on the inside of a ship from miles away. Okay, so who's ever saying that, that's the stuff we need to stay away from. Listen to the experts. If the experts, I already mentioned one, James Cameron, I would call him a reliable source. He's been down there. He knows these. Hey, Ted, good morning. And I'm getting ready to end this show, so you're right on cue, my friend. Good morning, everyone. I took a slight detour on I-95. Oh, you're driving in? Even banging. It was a loud noise, Lady Cat. Okay, and I'm just going to leave that there. Okay, we're moving on. Good morning, Ted. Glad to have you here. We're just finishing up with the football scores. Let's see. In Canadian football, they don't have a score last night's game. The Argonauts, which is Toronto against the Elks, and I think the Argonauts won. I'm not sure. There's no score. They played last night at 7. I looked at the standings. The Elks have 3 losses. The Aragons have 2. And Jeeves and Lady Cat saying good morning to Ted. Tony saying good morning to Ted. So is Chris Technician. So people watching this a replay. We got Ted Hicks, who's down there in Long Island. He took a detour on the I-95, so it looks like you're driving in. I-95 is through New York. So what are you doing on the I-95? Are we there yet? Okay, so you're going somewhere. You're traveling somewhere. Sounds like Ted Hicks is on the road, and Ted saying hi to everybody. So this weekend, the Lions beat the Blue Bombers there in Canadian Football League. The Aleutians beat. That's a Montreal team. I'm not picking the Montreal. I'm with. Hey, geez, who do you pick in the Canadian football? What's your favorite team? Detour to Fireman Rich show. Okay, there you go. Oh, it was figuratively. Okay, gotcha. Is Melanie? Oh, Mel. Hey, good morning from the Southern Tier, and it's evening over there in Australia. Melanie coming in from Australia, Central Queensland, and it's what time? It's 8. Oh, you're pushing to 9, at close to 10 to 9. You don't follow. Oh, you don't follow the Canadian football. Okay, I'm throwing up the scores here. So let's see. The Aleutians, they beat the Tiger Cats 38-12. The Rough Riders beat the Stampedes 29-26. I have no score on the Argonauts, which is the Toronto team. That's the team I'm rooting for. But the Elks have 3 losses, so I don't know what's going on there. So, but that's the football. So good. Hello, Melanie. We're getting ready to end the broadcast here because we're coming up to the top of the hour, and I've been on for an hour and 60. I'm doing these long broadcasts. I had a long one Saturday with Tony and Helen. I had a long one yesterday, 2-hour one yesterday, and now this is an hour and stuff. So, I'm glad to see we have a full house. Let's do the dinner report as we end. Chris Technician is here. Let's do the dinner report. I didn't forget about it. I just remembered it. What do we have for dinner, Chris? Give us a dinner report. And then I'm going to have to exit stage left here. Um, the Fireman Rich, the Marathon Morning Show. There we go. And we're the broadcast is holding its own right now too. So it's still in the green. So I think these settings are going to work. I did drop a few frames, but Tony had shrimp and chicken. Woo! Potato wedges from Wild Wing Cafe. And Melanie coming in from Australia. She had spinach and feta quiche. I like quiche. I'll admit it. The missus makes quiche with salad. That's good. That sounds very healthy, Melanie. That sounds good too. I like spinach. I love spinach. Lady Cat comes in. She had cauliflower pizza bowl. There we go. And Chris Technician, the originator of the dinner report, he had shredded steak and green and red peppers and beans. Okay, and Ted Hicks comes with steak medium. I like mine medium rare. Medium, that's good with mixed vegetables, cooked by yours truly. So you grilled, and Jeeves comes in with pork fried rice. I love pork fried rice. I can't eat a lot of that with mixed vegetables. And Melanie says she loves her. The missus, she made up. We had a leftover chicken from a chicken we had over the weekend. We had chicken with mixed vegetables and dumplings. It's sort of like almost it came pretty close to a pot pie, but it wasn't a pot pie. It had the mixed vegetables, the dumplings, and the chicken, and it was good. It was great. And then, but I do love I love a good steak. A good steak is good. I don't like my steak still more. Yeah, exactly, Melanie. That's the same here. Same here. I don't like moo. The only cow I like seeing moo is the cows that are given milk. As far as that goes. So, all right, we've been on here for pushing an hour and 20 minutes. We're going to go ahead and exit stage left here, folks. I'm glad to see Ted here, Melanie here. Even though it's the last couple minutes, it's always great having you guys here. And I appreciate, I guess, Ted and Melanie, you can catch up by watching the replay. Folks on Rumble and YouTube, thank you for your view. Thank you for the views here on Twitch. And the folks in the chat, I want to say thank you very much to Lady Cat, Erica up there in Washington State, Mr. Twix, Jeeves up in Vancouver, Tim Fan, 43, Tim up there in Michigan State, and Tony D, salute to you, sir, down there in Warner Robins, Georgia. Chris Technician coming in from Deming, New Mexico. And let's see, who else do we have? I mentioned, and Lady Cat, can't forget Lady Cat. Helen, over there in Edinburgh, Scotland. Thank you for being here. Greatly, greatly appreciated as far as that goes. And who else do we have? Oh, Double J's. Double J's came in there towards the end. Thank you, Double J's, coming in from Mumbai, India. Thank you very much. It is greatly appreciated. It means a lot, guys. Thank you very much. And but it's time to go. Time to get this day started and get things going and start working towards that weekend. Like I used to say, I like saying, even though I'm not working, I'm still working towards the weekend, folks. And let's see. Melanie saying bye, everyone. Tony coming with Bazenga. Mr. Twix coming in later. Take care. Lady Cat, have a great day, Rich. You all have a great day. Double J's coming in. Take care, Rich. Catch up on your suit. Definitely Double J's. You have a great one. And Helen, have a great day, folks. You too, Helen. Thank you again for being here. And Chris Technician coming in with have a great day. And the second Bazenga. You all have a Bazenga day. This is Rich Roberts, Fireman Rich, here on, I'll say hi to the cats. This is Fireman Rich on Twitch, at Fireman Rich over there on Twitter, where I told myself as a social media observer, social media enthusiast. In other words, I like playing on this thing called the internet, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're playing on the internet, having fun. You all have a great one. Wherever you may be, live life, have fun. Ciao for now. Peace. Take care, folks. Thanks, guys, in the chat. Appreciate it.